Hello, new romantics. I have a new episode of Steven Universe to review. We're talking about love letters, and as always, my videos are brought to you by my own product. Red Knight, my trade paperback of the first 3 issues, are available at the link below. You can buy it off the Create Space page. Hey, this episode, we're a little late on, I admit it. I'm trying to play catch-up at the moment. Love Letters is the triumphant return of Jamie, the mailman, the fan-favorite character, who is a really likable guy. The episode is essentially this. Jamie comes back after trying to make it in a career in acting in Kansas, obviously. And he tells Steven that he's come back because he missed his days as being a mailman. And he meets Garnet coming out of the sea, looking very attractive. And he instantly develops a crush on her. He gives Steven and Connie a letter asking her out, and she immediately says no, and in a very funny scene instructs them to write a very blunt letter saying no. But once Connie and Steven realize that he's been kind of feeling rejected lately, he actually we kind of see that he didn't just decide to come back. His acting career didn't quite work out. So Connie gets the idea that maybe they should let him down a little more easy, so they write the letter a little more friendly, but he misinterprets it and thinks that Garnet is also interested in him. Therefore, he bothers them more, creating the situation where Garnet just needs to tell him that no, go away. And he's heartbroken. That's when it's Garnet who actually has to come to the rescue of sorts, and sits down and has an adult conversation with him, which is really nice. Now, some reflections on the episode. Boy, this is a really fairly well-written episode, and it's also, oddly enough, a little bit mirroring the Greg Rose episode, where we have a artist who isn't really making it, and he comes to Beach City and falls in love with one of the crystal gems. This episode, it goes south instead of north, and I don't know why. But it's kind of interesting how Jamie, hey, you know what, man, I've been there. You try to make it in a particular form of art, you crash and burn, you need to rediscover yourself. I imagine, since he works for the post office, he's got to at least be, an adult. So, he's got to be probably in his mid-20s. And I kind of feel for the guy. He tried. He's feeling pretty vulnerable and beat. And so, hoping maybe, like, a relationship with somebody will find that, find that missing piece. And that's not what he needed, really. And what he was kind of projecting, that he was in lust, and he was also feeling vulnerable, and he was kind of projecting that on Garnet, where he didn't know anything about her. So I'm really happy that the episode just really does have them talk and lay it out, and this episode was probably a better written, as far as relationships go, better than I've seen anything on CW ever. Really smart. Also, what's interesting is that this episode kind of picks up on the whole Garnet being a fusion between Ruby and Sapphire, who are in. I keep thinking about how all ages cartoons, like on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, so on and so forth, shows that are family driven or kid focused first, that adults watch, they have to kind of be careful in the way they deal with same-sex relationships. I remember all the way back in the early 90s, not the early 90s, the mid-90s, when Bruce Timm and his company was doing the fantastic Superman animated series. There was a supporting character in the Superman show, Maggie Sawyer, who comic book fans knew as a lesbian. So she was in the show, which they were able to kind of really gloss over because the show wasn't about her, so we didn't really get to focus on her personal life. But then there was an episode, the two-parter Apocalypse now, dot, dot, dot. Where she's injured and put in the hospital, and when she wakes up, there's a woman right there, and they're very friendly, and it's obvious they're really tight. The show doesn't explain their relationship, doesn't even name the character, actually. So that's kind of how they got away with it. It was a woman that she's good friends with. I don't know who it could be, but, you know, anybody who knows the character from the comics can easily deduce that that's her girlfriend. That is probably, I'm trying to remember, that was mid-90s, maybe 96, 97. I have to look at the dates or the air dates. But now, we've gotten the recent Legend of Korra series finale, which has Korra and one of the other characters establish a relationship. But that's in literally the very last frame of the episode. So, hey, who cares if anybody's mad? Now we have Steven Universe, where we've discovered that Garnet is herself the living embodiment of a relationship between two same-sex people, Ruby and Sapphire. And that was done in the season finale of season 1. We have a whole show. Who knows how long the show will go on. And there was this question when that was revealed, like, would that be brought up again? Or would it be one of those moments like, well, that was weird, let's never talk about it again? Or would it be actively discussed? And what they're doing so far, I think, is probably the sensible way, is when it matters, it's brought up. And I like how this episode, I mean, Steven and Connie talk about it, and Steven's actually very upfront that, I mean, it's spelled out, which I think is really refreshing. It's not even, like, metaphorically gestured. It's told to us by Steven himself. Like, you know, Ruby and Sapphire care about each other so much, they never want to be apart. Well, I don't know what that means. It could be sisters, cousins. No, it's not. This episode is very... and what's cool about that is that's not the main focus of the episode. It's just part of the whole fabric of the thing. So I think it's done very well, and it's a cute episode too. So I think that's interesting, and I think that's pretty much what I got for this one. I just really thought it was funny and cute. Very good episode. Do recommend it, especially for you Jamie fans out there. I think that's it for now, so push the button, Lindsay.